Hey guys, this is our Jeopardy review. Alright, so what three creatures did Isabel meet? The bear, the giant, the doctor. What did Isabel do to the bear? She ate him. When the author of Adventures of Isabel uses phrase like the big bear ate big bones and bread, what type of figurative language is this? Alliteration. What type of poem did we say that Isabel was? A humorous narrative. What does Isabel do to the giant and the doctor? She cuts off the giant's head and cures the doctor with his own medicine. What was the setting of The Great Detective? New York City. What clue did the great detective find on the victim? A hair. What type of detective story is The Great Detective? A tongue-in-cheek. An example of tongue-in-cheek is in this story is when the detective whipped what out of his pocket? A microscope. What did the detective say the bald man was guilty of? Murdering 1 million people. Why was Juan described as sickly and pale? Because he only went out at night to steal. When Donna Josefa finally gives the coin to Juan, how does he respond? He is speechless and he gives it back. In this story, Donna Josefa is introduced by another character. What type of characterization is this? Indirect. Who is the protagonist of the gold coin? Remember, a protagonist is the person who learns the lesson. Juan. The type of repetition that is seen in this story is known as folktale repetition. What is the comparison of two unlike things using like or as? A simile. What is a repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of words that are close together called? Alliteration. What is a technique in which an author gives clues about something that will happen later in the story? Foreshadowing. What is a figure of speech in which an object or animal is given human feelings, thoughts, or attitudes called? Personification. What are the 4 types of characterization? Man versus man, man versus self, man versus society, man versus nature. What is the phrase, yellow kernels glittered like gold coins, an example of? Simile. What is the phrase, the mountains seem to smile at me, an example of? Personification. And the gold coin, what was the phrase, the light shining through the trees, an example of? Foreshadowing. A phrase in which the character says the opposite of what he or she really means is an example of irony. What is the phrase, he's running faster than the wind, an example of? A hyperbole. All right, guys.